Hi, what? There's one strand of hair that will just not behave, I swear. Hi, welcome to another reading vlog. It's been a while since I've done a reading vlog. I'm gonna try and elevate this week's reading vlog past anything I've ever done before. I'm very bad at reading vlogs. Today is Monday, the 30th of August. And I'm starting today, not because it's the start of the month, because obviously it's not, but I have started the first book for Bookoplathon and NSFWathon, and that is my reread of Daisy Jones and the Six on audiobook. I am a whole 30 something pages in, 40 something pages, 40-ish pages in. I read that yesterday and I might get to a little bit more today, but I'm prioritizing finishing my last read of August, which I won't talk about because this is a Bookoplathon, NSFWathon vlog. But I did want to check in with you. This is the first audiobook I'm reading and I am really enjoying it so far. I've obviously read it before, it is a reread. And I'm listening to an audiobook this time, which I read it physically the first time, and I'm loving the audiobook. I know that's pretty obvious and everyone says that, but like I am loving the audiobook. I also, this week is the week I'm submitting my thesis for my whole PhD, my whole life. It was going to be tomorrow, but there's been some delays and it's being pushed back to the end of the week-ish. So that might have thrown all my plans out because I was planning on being done before the start of September, but we'll make it work, hey. Tonight is also the night of the live music video situation going on for Halsey's new album, If I Can't Have Love I Want Power. It's like this, so there's the movie that comes with it, which is showing at IMAX, which I can't go to because our IMAX is shut until our lockdown restrictions change. Not that the nearest IMAX to me is actually close, it's like an hour away, but even that is shut. But there is this digital event, which is like a different set of videos. I think that they're like live performances but pre-recorded of If I Can't Have Love I Want Power, and that's tonight at 7, so we've got to remember to watch that because it is live, like being live streamed via digital download, or not download, digitally, streamed digitally. But I do have work to be doing. I'm waiting for an email to arrive to figure out what I'm doing next, actually, and I'm just frantically repeatedly checking my emails, waiting. But I will let you know how that goes because I'm really, really excited for it. And then hopefully tomorrow I will finish the book I'm currently reading and start the first physical read for September a day early tomorrow, which is Nightvine. I'll let you know when I start it because I'm really excited for it. Hi, so it is the last day of August. I'm still reading my last book of August, which I was planning on being done already basically, but no. I also didn't read any of Daisy Jones yesterday, so no reading update, but I'm currently uploading my NSFWathon TBR. My other 2 TBRs are up, so we're just getting this one done. I am going to be also filming a haul and a wrap-up sometime this week, after today, but I'm hoping to start my first book of the month today still later tonight, which is Nightvine by Felicia Davin, which is the polyamory plot hole book of the month. If you weren't aware, feel free to go follow the polyamory plot hole on Twitter. It's our monthly readathon read along that I host with KJ from Bookish KJ and Julian from Cosmic Book Nook. Julian does change, is playing around with names still and changing the names every now and again. So they're also known as Dylan. They're also known as Theo. So they're at Cosmic Book Nook if you want to follow them. All those names have been ones I've been using, and you should also. Julian is the name that I'm going with today. and they always keep that updated on their Twitter if you're interested or slash want to know on any particular day. So both Julian and KJ co-host the Polyamory Plot Hole with me, where we read polyamorous books every month. And obviously Nightfine is going to be September's, so I'm trying to start that tonight, but I first have to finish the last book of August, which I am about to jump in to try and do with some clarity and try and get into that, but I'll talk to you more later. It's a pajama vlog. It always is. I've just woken up. It is the 1st now, officially. Yes. I have a lot of work to do today though, because everything kind of got delayed. So I am not starting off on the like no work front that I thought I would be, but we're gonna still try and stay as on track as possible. We just might get a little behind. We'll try to make it up later. I also got busy yesterday and I literally finished my last book of the month. I've got it here, but I'm not going to show you because it's not relevant to the vlog. At like 11:30, and I had to push. Like I would normally be asleep by then, but I pushed to get it done so it would be done by yesterday, and I did do that successfully. So this morning I've just been eating my breakfast and I'm like a handful of pages into the ebook for Nightfine, and I am really enjoying it. I mean, I've barely started, but already, like, I feel into the swing of things. I can easily remember Thornfruit, which is good. Like, I'm not like, what the hell is going on? Which I kind of was reading the last book of the month for a little while, because it had been a while since I read the first book in that series. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, but I really am only like a handful of pages in. So I have a lot of work to do today. But my goal is to read most of Nightfine, and also sit down and play some Sims for a few hours while listening to Daisy Jones. Also maybe, like, I'll probably listen to it while cooking, stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see if I get time for Sims today. I might get time to listen to it while doing some work stuff, but I don't know yet. We'll see. So listening to some audiobook and reading most of Nightfine is my goal, but we'll see how much of Nightfine I can actually get through today. It might end up only being 200 or so pages, not the 363 we're aiming for. We'll update. I promise I didn't spend all day in my pajamas. The lighting is bright. It's nighttime. It's like 10:30. I've read like 50 pages. I'm already off to a bad start, but I'm going to try and read a little bit more before I go to bed. But today was just busy at work, and then I read for a bit, and then we had dinner and watched TV, and I tried to read while we were watching our like occasional show. We don't watch a lot of TV, but we've been really watching like a couple of shows, and that was tonight. And I just didn't get much read. I did listen to a bit of Daisy Jones and the Six, and I did read a bit, and I'm going to try and read a little bit more before I go to bed. But though I will say I'm currently loving Nightfine. This pimple is like exploding. Oh my god. I'm loving Nightfine so much. The introduction of the new character in this one, Theo, is just like so good. I love them. They're amazing, and he's amazing. I just love it. And I'm having a great time. I just literally have not been able to sit down to read because we ended up watching TV. So I'm going to read a bit now, hopefully try and get like 50 pages, at least 100 pages, before I fall asleep, and go from there. And like, hopefully I will get to read more tomorrow, just in general. And then maybe on the weekend we might catch up. We'll see. I'm already behind. Fuck. I will say, did I mention in this vlog that to stay on track for this TBR, I have to read 363 physical pages and listen to 2 hours of audiobook every day? I definitely didn't do either of those things, so once again, I'm so behind. It is Friday. Where is this lighting again? Today has been busy. I haven't read it all today, but did I update you last night? I honestly can't remember, but today has been a wild ride. I finally submitted my thesis after 3.5 years work and a whole day, including like way after time. Like I ended up submitting it at like 7:30, and I normally finish work at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I spent a few extra hours after my work time to just get finalized, nailed, and submitted. And although that means I've done like no reading today, it's currently like, I don't know, like 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock, and I haven't read a single day. It also means I'm now free. Freedom for pretty much the rest of the month. So from here on out, my reading should be much better than it has been these first 3 days of the readathons that I'm working on. But I'm about to dive into Nightvine and really like work on it. I'm gonna try and get through, I'm gonna read for like the next hour at least and try and get through quite a bit of it. I am about halfway through it. I'm also like just under halfway through Daisy Jones. I'm gonna try and finish this tomorrow while playing Sims. I have a couple of hours of my other job tomorrow that's way less stressful, but otherwise I have the day to myself to do things. And so to be on track of where I'm meant to be by the end of this weekend, so after the next 2 days, I need to have finished Nightvine, listened to all of Daisy Jones, finished Daisy Jones and the Six, listened to all of Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon, read all of The Bone Shard Daughter, read all of The Wolf and the Woodsman, also read Descender Volume 1, and read all of, or most of, A Dark and Hollow Star. It's not gonna happen. I'm so far behind, but I'm gonna make a attempt to get pretty far on track. My goal is to finish, or get really close to finishing Nightvine tonight, and then try and finish over the weekend Bone Shard Daughter and Wolf and the Woodsman, if at all possible. We're gonna try and put on our skating boots and also finish Daisy Jones and most of Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon to try and be as on track as possible going into next week, and then we'll try and catch up a little further next week. I'd like to be able to catch up. I don't like to admit defeat right at the start of the month. We'll see what happens. You know, I could end up hating a few books and DNFing them, and that will get me on track. I mean, I don't hope for that, but sometimes it happens. It could happen. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and get rid of the shitty lighting and get to reading and try and get through as much of Nightvine as I can before I fall asleep. And then we'll get up tomorrow and do it all over again. I'm definitely finishing Nightvine tomorrow. It's Saturday. It's now Saturday afternoon. It's, what time is it? 5:30. I'm gonna play Sims for a little bit now while I listen to my audiobook, but I just finished reading Nightvine by Felicia Devon, which is our polyamory plot hole book of the month. I don't want to talk about it in a lot of detail because we'll talk about it in the live show, but like, this is so good. I liked it better than book one. I think book one was a little info dumpy right at the start, where it was just giving you a lot of world building because the world's got some unique characteristics, and it was a bit heavy on world building right at the start, but kind of like understandably so. And this one was really settled into it, and I thought it was just so good. It went places I didn't expect. I did some plot twists I didn't expect at all. Others I saw coming, but I thought they were delivered really cleverly, if that makes sense. And the romance in this was amped up a billion notches from book one, and I thought it was just so good and dramatic, and I don't know, I loved it. I think it's like a 4.5, but I'm giving it a 5 on Goodreads, like I'm rounding up. But I had a great time with it. I thought it was so good, and it had a cliffhanger ending, and now I want to read book 3, but so yeah. That's that. I'm gonna dive in now. I have also listened to like 60 pages, 70 pages of Daisy Jones already today, while doing shopping and stuff. And I'm gonna play Sims for a little bit and listen while I do that, and listen while I cook dinner, and then finish playing Sims. So basically I'm gonna play Sims until I've read the rest of this tonight. And then my next physical read is going to be The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and I'm going to try and read as much of this as I can tonight. I imagine I'm not going to get super far, but however far I can get, I'll take it. And my goal is to finish this tomorrow and start Wolf and the Woodsman and get through as much of that tomorrow as I can. But we'll see. Let's jump into Sims playing at any rate. By which I mean listening to my audiobook. Alrighty. It is a couple of hours later. I finished listening to Daisy Jones and the Six. Once again, gave it 5 stars. The ending killed me. I really, really want the TV show of this to like finish being made so I can live it with my eyes. It always makes me want to listen to Gold Dust Woman and Silver Springs. I think the only time I've ever had a copyright flag on any of my videos was the first time I read this, because I sang along to Silver Springs in my vlog. Because it has the vibes. Makes you want to listen to Stevie Nicks. The next audiobook that I'm going to pick up tomorrow while playing The Sims is Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon by Mary Fan. I've said it before. I don't really know what this is about. Do we want to read the synopsis together? It says, Liang Anlei, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but I'll let you know once I start listening to the audiobook, wants a life of glory and revenge. As a warrior who protects her village from shadow spirits, Anlei has never been beyond the border of her town. All of that changes the day the Viceroy and his fleet of mechanical dragons arrive. It's a protection her village is desperate for, but it will only be given in exchange for Anlei's hand in marriage. Torn between wanting to protect her village and her own freedom, Anlei is forced to make a sacrifice. The day before her wedding, she encounters Tai, a young thief who is also trying to save his people. Tempted by his quest and the thrill of glory it promises, the two embark on an epic journey to the courts of hell to discover where the shadow spirits come from, but the secret of their existence isn't so easily solved. Amid dark experiments and battles on magic-fueled airships, Anlei must summon the courage to be the hero to live the life she's always dreamed of. It's a standalone fantasy. Seems to have some sci-fi elements too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, and I'm going to be starting this tomorrow. I'm not starting it tonight. It's like almost 9 o'clock and I want to read with my eyes. But the book I'm going to read physically is also one that I don't really know the synopsis of, and I haven't dived into it in any detail. And no one seems to be able to explain to me what it's about, other than that it's sapphic and fantasy and Chinese inspired. The back says, this is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, which is what I'm starting physically. And the back says, the Sukai dynasty has ruled the Phoenix Empire for over a century, their mastery of bone shard magic powering the monstrous constructs that maintain law and order. But now the Empress rule is failing and revolution is sweeping across the Empire's many islands. Lynn is the Emperor's daughter, but has lost her status as heir to the Empire. Trapped in a palace of locked doors and old secrets, Lynn vows to reclaim her birthright by mastering the forbidden art of bone shard magic. But wielding her family's magic carries a great cost. When the revolution reaches the gates of the palace itself, Lynn must decide how far she's willing to go to claim her throne and save her people. Let me answer this FaceTime. Lol, hi. I was like, oh, I'll just film a vlog clip first.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's funny. Don't worry.
Hi.
Say hi to the vlog.
Hey, vlog. Bitches.
Are you switching to physical now, or are you going to keep simming?
I'll keep simming, but I'm going to switch to audio. So, I just finished getting through all my watch later list.
Yeah. Nice. I have like 100 things, but I saved like every Bookoplathon TBR.
I did that and then went through and was like, no.
I will eventually, but I haven't yet. I'll mute you for 2 seconds to wrap this up, and then I'm going to start reading. So I'm gonna dive into this on FaceTime with Paige, where we encourage each other to read, and I'm gonna try and get through. Well, it's 9 o'clock, so I'll probably read for 2 more hours. So I'm gonna try and get through like 150 pages minimum, aiming for 200, but I think 150 is more reasonable. So I'm gonna do that now. Let's dive in. Well, I am out of focus. 150 pages into Bone Shard Daughter. I'm about to go to sleep because I cannot stay up any longer. But I feel like I have a better idea of what it's about, or at least how I would comp it. So this is about a world where these islands, it's an island world, but they all free float, floating islands, moving in this sea, and they like migrate and move, and their relationships to each other vary. That's kind of like the backdrop of the world. And there's different types of magics, but one involves bone, and only the emperor and the emperor's heirs are meant to be able to use it, but everyone contributes because you have to use a living piece of bone and you carve commands onto it, and that piece of bone belongs to someone alive, and it uses their energy to power a construct. And in that way, that magic reminds me a lot of the way the magic is designed in Foundry Side, if you've read that, by Robert Jackson Bennett, where it's all about like the correct commands and making things do what you tell them to do in the form of constructs here. But these bone shards are forcibly taken from the civilians. Well, not forcibly, it's a tithe, so it is forcibly. If they don't like doing it, it's obviously painful. It's often taken from their skull. It's just a little shard, but it drains their life if it's used, and the emperor takes hundreds and like takes one from everyone and uses them to power his armies and hundreds of constructs. And so there's that happening, and the main like plot, I guess, is around his daughter, who is like trying to prove herself as the heir. So on her side, she sees the magic as something to gain, but you can tell that like within the culture of the world, because we follow a couple of different perspectives, the magic is like everyone hates it because it draws from their lives. So she had something happen to her memory. She got ill and she lost all her memory, and she only can remember the last 5 years. So you're kind of learning things along with her, but that has kind of put her at a spot where her father doesn't trust her because she isn't the person she was. And obviously there's something more complicated to it than that, but she doesn't know what it is yet, so we don't know what it is. And she's trying to learn these bone shard magics while also knowing there are parts of her past she doesn't understand and doesn't know. And that bit reminded me a lot of Nightvine, like the book I just read. So there's a big theme in Nightvine that's about like people who can take away memory, and there's this continuing thread in Bone Shard Daughter of she's lost her memory. Her foster brother, who's also in training to be the heir, had lost parts of his memory and he's gaining it back. Another character is working on an island in a very like routine-based system, and it has lost her memory and only knows like the commands they need for the day. This idea of like memory manipulation had a really strong role in Nightvine and the Gardener's Hand series as a whole. Like how memory manipulation can work to control people, and this is also doing that. And it's really interesting that like I'm reading the two back to back, and they're both kind of doing that same theme. So that is like a clear theme. And then we also follow a smuggler who is gotten himself caught up. He's looking for his wife, who was taken by a random someone, like a random ship. She just kind of went missing, and he thinks this ship took her. And he's trying to get back his wife, and he's spent like the past 7 years chasing this ship while smuggling. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He has a little pet thing that's really fun. and he's getting into lots of scrapes. Oh, my hair is still damp at the bottom. Because he's a wanted fugitive, and I like all the threads individually. I do think this had a bit of a learning curve for the first 50 pages, this book, where it was just hard to figure out like what was going on and what was important and what to kind of keep track of. But once you kind of got the click of all the different moving pieces, it made a lot more sense to me, especially as the links between the moving pieces have become a bit clearer. Like all the perspectives, I can see how they're all tying into each other a bit more now, and I think that's really interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of perspectives. How many have we got? Main one, Lynn, the main girl, Jovis, the main boy. They're not girls and boys, they're woman, man, they're adults. They're both in their 20s, I think. Sand, who's the girl working on the island that has this repetitive loss of memory. And then two characters who are a pair of women that are like trying, they love each other, but they have the most messiest relationship, because one of them is the daughter of the governor and the other one is a peasant trying to like change how the government works. Like she's a rebel, and they love each other but they can't kind of like understand each other's point of view, and the rebel girl is just like trying to convince her to like overthrow her father, and she's like, I love you, but like I can't overthrow my father, like he's the governor, you know. And they're just coming from two very wildly different worlds, and it's fascinating to watch them try and interact. And like their part, I've yet to see how like it fully aligns with other bits, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now. I have a kitty cat asleep here, a big doggo asleep here, and I'm gonna go to bed. And I've set my alarm to try and get up relatively early tomorrow, and I'm gonna finish this. I'm determined. I'm gonna read the rest of it tomorrow. We won't get through 40 books in the month if we don't read a book a day. I am once again half asleep. It's been a while since I've done a half sleep vlog. Hey, it is Sunday night. It's late. I just finished reading The Bone Shard Daughter, and I wanted to just check in with you with my thoughts quickly before I fall asleep. And then I'll do a proper wrap-up of this vlog tomorrow morning, hopefully, if I remember before I edit it. We'll see. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart was really good. It was intriguing. The twists and turns kept me on my toes. I don't think I actually predicted anything, because like they kind of led in one direction and then twisted and turned in another. There was a handful of things that I thought were maybe a tad simplistic. I think they could have explored the issue in further depth. But like, it was super fun and engaging. The world building was really weird. It took weird as in like intrigue. It took maybe 50 pages for me to really settle into the world building, but once I did, I loved it. Yeah, I would totally recommend this. I do think it's super hard to describe. I don't know how I would describe it to anyone. It kind of has some vibes for me of like Breath of the Wild and a Foundry Side, which I talked about, and Night Vine, which I've just been reading, and what else? Like, it has all these, it just had so many cool elements. I would totally recommend this. It's really hard to describe, but I think so many people will really enjoy it. It's a great fantasy with like 20-something characters, like 20-something aged characters, and I thought it was really well done. There's no key romance plot. It's not romantic. There's some relationships that are explored, but they're not, it's not like a romance in any way. Like one of the leads is looking for his wife who's been missing 7 years, but it's like, it's more his driving goal rather than like a romance. And then there's the two women who have this love affair going on, but that again is more about like how their relationship relates to the plot rather than the plot driving a romance, if that makes sense. Anyway, it's too late and I've kind of got a headache, so I'm not going to start The Wolf and the Woodsman tonight, but I'm going to start this tomorrow in next week's vlog, and try and get through most of it. And I'm also working on Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon, which I'm like 70 pages into the audiobook of, and I'm not loving it. I might DNF it, but I'm going to give it like another hour or so before I decide. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not intrigued. I'm a bit confused, but we'll give it a bit more time and we'll see. But I will check in with you tomorrow to wrap up this vlog sometime tomorrow morning and start the next vlog, and we'll see where we're at. I'm sleepy. I'm going to bed and I feel very coherent, and also my eyes look tiny without my glasses. What the hell? Hi, it's Monday. Let's wrap up this vlog super quick before I dive into my day. It is later than I thought. It's 10:20. I have read a little bit of my next book, but let's wrap up what I read this past week for all the readathons I'm participating in. So I read Night Vine by Felicia Davin. Gave it 5 stars. It was great. I thought it was well constructed, a better, like, tighter and neater than book 1, and I just really love the characters and thought it was a really fun time. We're going to be talking about this more in our polyamory plot hole wrap up for September, which will be our live show, which will probably be in early October. I also reread Daisy Jones and the Six, which was 5 stars as per last time. I really like this series. I really like this book. I did really enjoy the audiobook, and it was my first time listening to the audiobook, and I thought it was chef's kiss. I also read The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, which I really liked as well. I thought it was really intriguing. It reminded me a lot of Foundry Side, and in its magic system, and had some really cool elements that I thought were really well handled. It also had some, like, I know we don't like Philip Krueger, but like Peter, you know, the guy, we don't like him. But this has some Steel Crow Saga vibes, I think, in the way it's naturally storytold, and there's probably a better comp because I'm sure it's just Southeast Asian small country kind of vibe, but it really worked in the storytelling and narrative style. Like, I'm sure there's a better comp than the Steel Crow Saga, but like it felt kind of akin to that in some ways, and I'm sure it's the style of storytelling, but I loved it. I thought it was so well developed, and I can't wait to read book 2, which is coming out in a couple of months, I think. And I thought it was just really good. So really overall it was a 5-star week. My plans for the coming week, the things I have beside me is not the totality of the things I need to read in the coming weeks, but it might be the totality of the things I actually read in the coming weeks. I am 79 pages into Steel Crow Saga, which is my next Stronger Than a Bronze Dragon by Mary Fan, which is my next audio book. I'm gonna work on this today and get quite a bit further in it with any luck, and that'll definitely be finished this week. The audiobook after that is, what is the audiobook after that? A Far Love Story by Joanne Lay. So I'm excited. I hopefully will get both of those easily finished this week, I think is where I have to be on track. Oh, and Dial A for Aunties. So if I get all 3 of those read this coming week, that would be fab. I don't think it'll happen, but we'll try. That'll get us back on track. I need to read The Wolf and the Woodsman, which I've started this morning, but I'll talk about it more in my next vlog. Descender Volume 1. A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth, and that gets us to where we were meant to be yesterday. And the next read I've pulled out, which would get us to today, so obviously there's quite a few more after this that would keep us on track, but we're not going to get there surely, is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. So we're definitely aiming to get through this. I think the ones after that are Chorus Rises, Marrow Thieves, and Wild Embers. And I don't know if like the week probably goes even further than that, but we'll see how caught up I can get. We're going to try our best over the next week to try and get as caught up as possible. I'm not confident we'll get actually caught up, but as caught up as possible. But I'm really excited to read what's coming up. Like, this whole TBR is a good TBR, so I'm really excited about it. So keep an eye out in next week's vlog to see how I go trying to get back on track. It's not going to happen, but we're going to try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another video. I think you will see my wrap up very soon if I'm gonna edit this in the order I'm thinking, because you'll have just seen my haul. You should see my wrap up soon for August. So keep an eye out for that, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye!